Welcome aboard, everybody. My name is Doobyis. This is a interview series I call Fly-In Formation. We're on episode 134 this week, and you can catch these things live every Tuesday over on twitch.tv/Doobyis. Doobyis.com is the hub for everything that I do. I also do a weekly mix show where I actually play the music of all these people I talk to every week. Um, this week, my guest, return guest, haven't talked to you for a couple of years, but welcome back, Tariiq. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing
I'm
well. Yeah.
just quickly gonna change the sound.
Oh, okay.
Say that again?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, man. It's been a while since we spoke. I think last time I talked to you was probably a couple years back. You were running around doing shows with a live band, the Golden Eyes, and gearing up for, or maybe it was just after. I don't know. It was right around the time you dropped your last project there. What was the name of that one? High rises and low falls. I think maybe you were still gearing up for it when I talked to you, but yeah,
Yeah, it
man,
was like around that time. Yeah, it's been a minute, dude. It's been a minute since then.
for real, the
Lots changed.
the world has changed. Gradually. I feel like fuck, it's like a heavy day to be sitting down trying to have like a cheerful conversation with somebody. This fuckery in Iran and Trump making threats and stuff, but you're at least a guest who does talk about some reality and political things in your music. So, I'd much rather talk to you on a day like this than talk to some people who just kind of make party raps or whatever. Appreciate you sending over some new music for me to check out too, man. Both of those tracks were super dope. I'm really looking forward to this project that you've got coming out. Um, I guess let's just start off. Like, do you want to tell us a little bit about this project coming up? It's with Matt Byrnell and Goldenchild, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I guess I'll start. Yeah, me, these are some solid homies, right? Matt and I have been chatting. Like he's definitely a big force in the hip hop, both in the production and the visuals and just kind of like connecting people in the city.
Does he like
And
run a
then Golden
studio, or
Child.
what is Matt Burnell's actual like? He's a producer, right? But does he have a studio space, or like what's
Yeah, he's got his own thing. Nice little setup of his own, but yeah, he's producing, making beats,
nice?
engineering and visuals too, man.
Yeah, I've seen his
He's
name around a lot with a bunch of different Edmonton artists, so he definitely
yeah,
is
yeah, he's a collaborator type of guy, definitely somebody who likes to work with lots of people, get people together.
nice.
Yeah, no, it's good. So that said, I've known Paul Goldenchild for like since junior high actually.
Okay,
So we came up on hip hop together. We were like freestyling together and stuff. Um, he's been deep into like the beats. I would say he's a specialist. Like when it comes to just taking a vinyl, ripping it, it's like this guy's a purist at that.
yeah.
And yeah, I think Matt was kind of the glue to like inevitably put us together. Surprisingly, people would be surprised, but like me and Paul haven't like collabed that much. I just feel like we were both doing our own thing, and then it's kind of come around full circle, like just with where our heads are at.
So on one hand, that
Um,
surprises me a little bit that you guys have known each other so long and never worked. But on the other hand, like Golden Child, he's a dude who I remember seeing his name around and hearing his beats online and stuff. When I still lived in Edmonton, like a decade ago at least. So he's been around doing the thing for a long time, and he's somebody
oh
who
yeah.
like I think gets out to like scratcher events and stuff like that. Right? Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, and like he's like the Sampa Cafe
Yeah,
thing as well. Cypher Wild, like deep into the hip hop community, like the pure hip hop community.
those are the communities I know him from. But honestly, I haven't really seen him like collab with any of my MC
He has
homies from Edmonton much, has he?
he's worked with K Riz, T
Okay.
Fanny,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
few artists actually, yeah. Those are the two main ones that jump out to me. He has a whole thing with Self that's not released, but like
Oh, damn. I'd like to
I've
hear
I've
that.
heard a sneak peek of it and yeah, it's solid,
Is
man.
it coming up or
So
like have they permanently shelved that? What do you mean it's
I
not
think
released?
that's a self question.
Question. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Who I'm gonna see this weekend, we're doing a little EP soft launch
Ooh,
party kind of thing in
nice.
collab with Icon Hip Hop as well.
Dope. Out in
Yeah, it's gonna be a
Vancouver
sweet
or
event. No, in Edmonton, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
low key event.
Nice.
So
Nice.
private event kind of thing. But yeah, man. So the concept, like the project, kind of just happened. Like, the first track is actually "Ill," which is dropping on Friday, and literally like those two had a hiatus, just some like internal drama with other artists. I won't get too into that,
Sure.
but they had like a
Those 2
little.
as in Matt and,
No, Matt and Paul.
Goldchild?
There was a artist like in between that created some drama,
Okay, okay.
but
Yeah.
it's like they rekindled their relationship. I'm glad they did because they work super well together, man. And yeah, they pulled up, made this beat apparently in like 20 or 30 minutes. They send me a video, and I was like, that is such a ridiculously good beat. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get back to you. And then I fell asleep, and I had this intense dream. And it was like, from what I remember, it was something along the lines of like, I think I was at Shambhala, like at the Grove stage, and I was called to go up. And when I went backstage, I went up the stairs, but like they were like some stairway to heaven type thing. And what I was overlooking was this like country club estate, like VIP, beautiful, rich area. And I was like staring at it. And then on the other side was like this super grimy crowd. And I was like being pulled. And then I went that way. And then a mic like dropped from the sky. And then I started freestyling in my dream.
You went
And
the
it
way
was that.
towards the grimy crowd, I assume, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
the
yeah.
mic came from the heavens and was like basically pulled me that way. And then I like freestyled in my dream.
Those are
And it
always the
was,
best. Are you good at freestyling in
dude,
dreams? I find that when I
dude,
do freestyle in dreams, I always wake up being like,
I'm
"Man, how
I'm
come I didn't record that shit?"
unbelievable, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
I and then aside like I've had dreams where I was watching like 3 or 4 rappers like spitting the craziest bars, and I'm in the crowd like, "Man, these guys are sick." And then I wake up and I'm like, "Bro, that was all my own creation,"
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
You
so
were
yeah,
rapping in the style of your favorite rappers or whatever,
exactly.
actually, yeah.
So I woke up and I had the flow in my head, and it was one of those things where it's like I knew I was waking up, and I'm like, "I have a limited time till I remember this."
Right.
So I was like half asleep. I grabbed my phone. I like mustered through where the audio recording app is, and I just like mumbled like whatever I could, but it was enough to get the flow on like the first few lines,
Yeah.
and I just expanded on that. And like it's in it's pretty common in this project. Like I stick with one flow, one cadence, one rhyme scheme, like for full verse.
Okay.
And some, which is not like, I used to be a lot more switchy
Yeah.
because I would like piece things together, but I really just let myself like hit a flow state. So yeah, I wrote the lyrics in like probably 30 minutes.
When you say hit a flow
And then
state, do you mean, like, it's easier to stay on one rhyme scheme? Because I feel like that's kinda like a battle rapper thing where, like, these guys will, like, stretch out their rhyme scheme for, 60 bars or whatever, just kind of as, like, a flex of how many words they can think of in that rhyme scheme, but it kinda adds
Mhm.
another layer of difficulty to the writing, doesn't it?
To stay on a rhyme scheme.
Yeah, to stay on a rhyme scheme instead of, like, switching it up, but
In some ways, but um, I guess like what I mean is in the past, I would like write something, and by writing it, I would like freestyle for like 30 minutes.
okay.
And then I would like pick and choose the best sections of the freestyle and then tie it all together. And by doing that, it ended up being that like I had so many different things in one song because I'm trying to
Right.
explore like option. Whereas in this project, I was really just like, this is a vibe right now. I'm gonna stay on this rhythm, this lane. And yeah, and that song, and then we met up, 2 takes, it was done, 1 for each verse pretty much, some doubles. And then we're just like, that was really easy and really effortless, and like we're all on the same page. So then came the second one that I showed you, and then a couple others and some interludes, and we're like, "Yo, we just, like, made a project."
Nice.
So this project is called Too Easy,
Because it
and
was too
that
easy. Huh.
we just kept saying those words as we were doing it, and I'm like, "Damn, I think that should be the name of the project." So
Is that
so
some
yeah,
gamer
that's
shit? I play a lot of, like, Overwatch, and people will just be like, "GG
did they
easy,"
say that?
to diss motherfuckers, like, too
Not
easy
I
or
don't
whatever.
know, more maybe more like well, it's not even like a flex, like, it's like it may come across like, "Oh, this is." No, it's 3 people who have been doing this for a while and have, like, went through the humps and, like, refined their craft, came together and just did what is natural to them. Like, we didn't try
Yeah.
to do things we're not comfortable with or, like, really stretch, like, we just kept it in our lane, and that was, like, the the creative direction of it was very much like, if as soon as the overthinking happens, nah, like, there's no it's just like, "This feels good right now. This feels jammy, like, this is all it needs to be."
Dope, man.
And, yeah, man, I'm stoked people to hear it, like, it's almost like I took a few steps back in a way to, like you know what it is? It's like, you know how people are critiquing J. Cole's new album? 'Cause they're like, there's a lot of critics saying that it's this and that.
Yep.
To me, it sounded like J. Cole made an album of the shit that makes him feel good to do.
Yeah.
I love that
Sounded like he
album.
was very, comfortable and confident in that lane and
Exactly, bro.
just doing what he
And
does. Yeah.
that's kinda like what this is, and, like, I have 2 other projects, that are basically done too, that I'm gonna roll out after, and they're definitely an expansion of my sound. Like, I have some, like, housey stuff, I have some melodic stuff, some very, like, personally, psychologically introspective stuff. So I feel like this is, like, a really nice base, just, like
Nice. So how long is this project gonna be? Like, you've been doing, I wanna say EPs, but they're not even really, like, called EPs. You're just kinda dropping singles with, like, a B-side or 2 with them, right? Like,
yeah, I just call those singles personally.
yeah, right.
It's just like, here's a single and here's, like, something in the vault that complements it, yeah.
Yeah,
No, this will be 4 songs, 2 or 3, like, interludes that are showing off the production a little more since it is collaborative, and
sure.
then, like, an outro bonus track thing potentially, just, like, bar up out of nowhere. I guess I
Nice.
just spoiled the surprise, but
Well, you know, anybody who's watching this deserves to have the surprise,
I
spoiled for
agree.
them, honestly. These are the hardcore fans here that'll be checking this out.
True
Um,
that, true that.
so I guess, this is definitely, like, sticking to the traditional boom bap roots, with this sound. Like, I heard scratching on there, at least
Mhm.
on the one track you sent over had.
Yeah, that's Fat Rock, man. He fucking killed that scratching.
Oh, okay, I was guessing it was
Yeah.
Goldenchild himself. Does he scratch on the album at all, or
Nah, I think that's the only track with, like, actual, like, scratching,
okay.
but, he can cut it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh,
weird.
yeah.
So I did hear a bar on one of those 2 tracks, and I forget which one exactly it was, but you mentioned something about kind of disregarding the opinion of what people in Edmonton think, and how the local opinion of your music doesn't matter so much. Does that sound familiar?
It was, "If I don't get support from my city, it's cool, cause I could really give a fuck what they consider is cool."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got yeah, yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
No, that wasn't a diss to the hip hop community of Edmonton by any means. I had a it was inspired by, and then the lines after about, like, the racist dude, but I'm like, his daughter's listening to my music, and
Yeah, yeah,
it was
right.
it was, it was I had a reel that I or a TikTok that I posted, like, kind of go viral, and it was great for a bit, and then it just kinda hit this, like, because I feel like TikTok's algorithm is not as refined as, like, say, Instagram's. So it just pushed me into, like, a Alberta-wide algorithm in
Okay.
general,
Yeah.
not a hip hop one. And then I would get these, like, 50-year-old white-haired assholes, like,
Sunglasses and trucks,
just,
guys.
like, commenting some shit that I'm like, "Bro, I've probably, like, walked by you at the grocery store. I maybe have given you a quote to renovate your house, but, like, at night, you're like, 'This is my chance.'" And
Yeah,
they're just so I'm kinda like, I was like but it was so much of it, and then I realized, like, listen, like, I'm aware that the music I do is not necessarily the main sound here by any means, and I live in a city, unfortunately, I think it's dope, but it is, like, well known to be a city where everyone the people within it call it shitty.
yeah,
So that was kinda where the bar came from, where it's like, I'm not really concerned because, like, I don't align with what you guys think is cool at all.
yeah, that
So,
makes sense. Have
my
have you
thing.
been seeing a lot of hate from the typical Albertan? Like, I feel like, you have a lot of political messaging and stuff in your songs. Like, do your comment sections on TikTok often kind of devolve into cesspools of just, like, people who wanna hate, or not so much?
Just like the couple that, like, expand beyond my main target audience.
Yeah,
But, I feel like if you're following me, like, you know
on
what
the
you're
level
getting,
for
and
the most part, yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah. It's just with TikTok, like you say about their algorithm, it does push you to kind of a wider, more generalized audience or whatever, and you never know what you're gonna get from there. You get a lot of
Yeah,
people.
it's like all or nothing, man. It's like 500 views or like
Yeah,
37,000 views, and like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's the way of the world these days. I mean, I guess, any attention, any people saying anything in comment sections, it boosts it to more people, so they should probably keep it up. That's, yeah, that helps. How about, I wanted to talk to you specifically about, like, moving from working with a band to moving to working with producers. Is it less I wanna say less intimidating or something? Like, working with just 2 guys who you know well as compared to a band where, they're probably friends, but there's just more people's opinions in the mix with a band, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would like write the songs and like the band was definitely more for like live interpretation.
Hmm.
I definitely still utilize like live musicians, not so project.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you did.
Staying like
Something is going wrong. What's happening here?
I think it's my USB was loose.
Oh,
In my
okay.
other projects that are coming up, like I have like live sax, live bass. So I definitely still trying to utilize live instrumentation. But I think at this moment, I'm just not as focused on the live performance aspect. Like the beautiful thing about the band was we were able to play a wide variety of shows, right? Like, we play like folk festivals, we play like jazz fest, lots of amazing experiences. But I think I need to like build myself up a little bit more first, back to the drawing board, make a batch of tunes, get some momentum like in the hip hop. Because I feel like the other thing too is I've often been, especially around here, like an ambassador for hip hop to people who don't typically listen to hip hop, but that was dope. You know what I
Right.
mean? Those kind of folks.
Yeah. There's
And
lots of
I just
those in
feel like
Edmonton.
at
Yeah.
this point, like, yeah, like, and it's great, man. It feels good to like do some hippie festival in the Kootenays, and then they're like, I've never heard live hip hop, but like, I fucking love that. I didn't think I would.
Yeah.
Like that warms my heart. But right now, yeah, it's I am very, very hip hop. Like I'm not like, like poppy rapper. So I just really want to focus right now on just establishing myself in the traditional way of like the MC. and
Do you think that
and
there is
like
still a crowd for that though? Like I feel like there's always gonna be a built-in crowd that loves purist, like traditionalist boom bap hip hop. But I don't know if that like is there any city out there where that's like the sound right now? I kind of feel like everywhere globally has moved past that being the sound.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with that because
No?
I think no, I think people are really really looking forward to like good hip hop. And I don't just mean boom bap like as in like I guess I don't think like now that hip hop is not mainstream anymore and now that it's not chart topping,
Yeah.
the underground is thriving, man.
Yeah, see,
Like
and I would agree with
and
that.
that
So, yeah, the
yeah.
underground of all these cities has this like thriving scene, but as far as like, you know, who's who's actually doing the most streams from each city or whatever, it's never the guy making purest boom bap. It's uh often, somebody doing some crossover stuff or doing some trap stuff or, you know,
Mhm.
blending with EDM so that they can play big festivals is one way I see people, finding some traction in hip hop.
Mhm.
Um But, well, and, it's not like it's dead. I'm not the guy who's saying hip hop is dead by any means. I think that it's just went to a place where, like, now the pure form of the genre will continue living on, and it just won't be the mainstream, right? But we're in a good era for
I
that
love
to
that,
still
dude.
be
I
supported.
love that. I think that
Yeah,
is better.
yeah,
That is better, bro. I
100%,
think
man.
the under being like popping in the underground is the best place to be in any genre of any art, in my honest opinion.
Yeah,
Because those genres stand the test of time and you have actual fans, people who are willing to rep your shit, people who it means a lot to them. Even DJs, man, like there's in the electronic music scene, like there's those there's those fads, people blow up and they crash, but, like, the dude that was playing techno in the club for the last 30 years is still popping off,
yeah, yeah,
you know?
for
So
sure.
that's kind of how I see it. But I think with hip hop not being mainstream, there's way less pressure of people to try to make it radio friendly. And I just feel like everybody's kind of experimenting. Everything's more alternative. Um, Lyricism is definitely whether and not necessarily on boom bap, but in general, like people like and crave like good lyricism.
Yeah, something they can
Hands out.
actually connect with, and
But even
yeah,
within boom bap, that shit's popping off too, man. Like all the Gen Zs love Griselda. Like there's Coast Contra.
yeah,
There's like even within Canada, there's that whole like I really fuck with like that Toronto Griselda like sound. Like lots of artists like Daniel Sun, Say Z, like
yeah.
that shit's fucking hard, man. That's never gonna not be hard, right?
I agree
So
100%, man. That's the lane that I gravitate towards most. Like I try to play some of the stuff from, poppier lanes or whatever on Atzik mixed in just because I do believe it's all hip hop ultimately.
yeah,
But
yeah, of course, of
you know,
course.
yeah, that's the sound that draws me in is that kind of more traditional sound. And dude, like, yeah, the Toronto scene is huge. There's so much talent out there, but they all kind of get slept on if you're just reading like the big publications talking about the Toronto scene. They'll mention a bunch of
Right, right,
guys
right.
who, are doing big numbers on streaming or whatever, but like aren't that lane. There is it completely
Yeah, I hear what
separate
you're
lanes,
saying.
right? Um, dude, I wanted to ask
Let's
you. Oh, go ahead. I don't mean to cut you off.
yeah, I was gonna say like this year for me is like I have like that other album I told you about. It's like a love story album, and there's like big hooks and stuff. Like I'm not just trying to necessarily do that sound as long as it's real and it's intentional, and the lyrics are like thoughtful.
Yeah,
Like that's like the only thing that's like my non-negotiables. But like, man, I'll rap on like all types of beats and sounds.
yeah, for sure. I've
To
played
to con
you
to
over
convey
EDM type stuff on Atzik. I've played you on kind of
yeah,
jazzy boom bap stuff,
so
up
we'll see. But
tempo
yeah,
stuff,
this
all of it,
this
man.
this year for me is like I did so much creation in the last like couple years that like I'm just gonna throw it all out this year, man.
Nice.
Like
Yeah. I
that's
think
kind of
it's
my goal.
I think it's smart for artists to change up styles project to project like that. That's something I ask a lot of guys. And some guys are of the mindset to just like stay in their one lane and do that one
Hmm.
thing as well as they can. And then there's
Yeah,
other guys trying, different things on the same projects too. But I like personally, I like the approach to just do small projects that have a cohesive sound to them.
yeah,
Uh,
that's what I like to do. Yeah,
yeah,
but I mean, if someone rocks their one sound, I respect the fuck out of that too, man.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Like I really respect that, and I think there's a lot of merit to that as well.
Yeah,
Like I don't necessarily think, even if we're talking like branding or marketing, like I don't think being super versatile is necessarily better or worse because if you're just like known as that guy for that style, like yeah, that's like also very easily marketable, and also from the audience perspective, I can respect that. I'm like, okay, this is like very authentic to this person.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
and
man.
that's the drawback. Someone who tries too many things, you got to like make sure it's authentic to you still, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, people can tell when you're just putting on the hat,
Right.
trying to be one
The
of the cool
worst.
kids. Hello, fellow
I
children, or
know.
whatever. Like
I
doing the
know,
new
man.
sound. That's obvious, but
I hate seeing that shit, man. There's a big difference between like, wow, this person really like expanded on sides of themselves that couldn't be encapsulated in this sound, and they had to do this sound, versus like somebody who tried to hop on a trend and put the face like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
cringe.
yeah, man. Um,
It's like real.
yeah, it's the worst to see that happen. I agree with you 100%, dude. Um, dude, one movement that I kind of wanted to ask you about, and you brought it up already, was icon hip hop out in Vancouver. I've talked to a few guys, from the West Coast and Western Canada who have mentioned that Icon Hip Hop is doing dope stuff, and I've seen clips and stuff from their events, and I remember you went out and did an event out there. Can you just talk about the your relationship with them? How did you end up going out there to do that gig, and then now how has it led to this upcoming one?
I think the first time was a guy Noble. You know Noble?
No, doesn't ring a
MC
bell.
Save the Whales. Dude, this
Oh,
guy's
okay,
like
yeah, no,
one of
I've seen that name
one of
around.
the best
MC
one of the
Save the
best
Whales,
off
yeah,
the dome one of the best off the dome freestylers I've ever met. But I don't know where we met, I think at a festival or something, and then we've just kind of been in touch for a while. So he booked me for a show, and then it was like I made a trip out of it and went and checked out the Icon Cypher, which at the time was like maybe 40, 50 people, and it was still like so dope. But yeah, I went there, did the cipher, did the show, connected with everyone. Um,
Is it always the
Came
same
back.
venue that they do those things? Like, do they have a monthly night or something like that? Or, like, how does their thing out in Vancouver
They
work
were
even?
doing weekly for a while, and they would hop venues.
Okay.
But yeah, as they've expanded, it's just become a lot bigger. There's dance ciphers, there's like showcases. They mainly do it at Fortune now. But now they're moving to like a show and prove podcast format
I was
that
just
they've
gonna
been
say, I
really
think they
pushing.
launched the podcast recently,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen clips of people rapping on
Yeah.
there. That's dope.
But I don't know. They're just like sick guys. Like I've spent some time with them, hung out with them. I've definitely like utilized their platform and it's helped me out. So when they said they wanted to take their podcast to multiple cities, I took it upon myself to show them the best time I can when they come to Edmonton. So I rallied up the troops. We have a sick spot lined up. Like we're gonna design it and light it in a really aesthetic way and make sure that A, Edmonton is represented very well, and B, like I return the favor of how many times they've hosted me.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds
So
dope, man. Will that be their first event in Edmonton? Like, have you kinda opened that door to them a little bit?
yeah, I think it's their first time in Edmonton for sure. Yeah.
Nice, man,
Yeah.
okay. Um So, dude, I wanted to talk to you just kind of about the state of the world a little bit here, and about how you're unafraid to talk about it in your music. I feel like you have always had, some of that messaging in your music as long as I've been listening, anyways. Um, does it feel more daunting as things get more and more heated, and as we watch America do whatever the fuck America is doing right now, step by step? Like, um, to be an outspoken artist, I think we're in an era where it potentially could be getting more and more actual, like, dangerous for people to be
Mhm.
outspoken like this in art and in media. Is that something you ever think about?
Um, I mean, yeah, like I've been like shadow banned and stuff. But in a safety thing, maybe if I lived in the States,
Yeah,
I don't think about it too much here, but I definitely think that it could be like a future thing that's like looked back on,
sure.
like
Yeah,
how they're coming after Zoran's wife like 15 years later.
it's fucked up, man.
Like I could see something like that, like if some shit popped off, but I don't care, dude. Like I'm
Yeah,
Palestinian.
yeah.
So of course I'm gonna be speaking about that. Like
Got to speak on it. Yeah.
it's not like I'm like it's not even a bias or not. Like this is my people suffering. So yeah, of course I'm gonna talk about it and
Props to you for doing
yeah.
that, man. I think there are too many MCs who are afraid to talk about anything that matters in their music. Um,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, I there was a bar actually that I caught in one of the two tracks you sent over from the new project where you say, like, MCs who aren't talking about anything don't get my respect. Or I'm mangling the bar because I only listened through the
Well,
songs a
it's
couple
funny
times, but something
because
like
like
that.
hip hop is so much about like I'm the best, I'm tough, I'm a gangster, like I'll kill you if you say anything bad about me.
Yeah,
So it's like, okay, where is all of that? Like,
dude.
I'm this enigma when it comes to like where it matters. They're
Yeah,
like, actually, I don't want to be insensitive. Like, I thought you were
I
okay.
thought you were a big
But I'm
tough
supposed,
gangster with a bunch of
but
thugs
I'm
and machine
supposed to,
guns, eh?
but I'm supposed to believe
Yeah,
that you are this gangster. Well, I'm sure there definitely are, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah.
even if you're not doing gangster rap, like the persona of an MC is often like outspoken. You're speaking your truth, even if you're like a more emo rapper, let's say, like whatever it is,
Yeah,
you're there to speak your truth. We're not singing big melodies that like 10 people wrote for us. Like
right. Yeah.
we write our own stuff. Our brand is very much like hyper authenticity. So
Yeah, man. And I mean, like you said, you can't have um people writing stuff for you and making that your art and having the world accept that as your art. Hip hop is so based around the individual I expression, but that's also what makes it so dangerous and why I think so many of these MCs have stepped back from making big
mhm.
statements, right? Because, like dude, I just saw yesterday they're making some FBI task force that's being assigned billions of dollars for 2027 budget, and the intent of it is just to like monitor for like people who are speaking against the American way and like speaking against Christianity and things like this. Like it's very thought policey, and I heard that and was just like, holy fuck! Like, what road are these guys going down here? Um, would you do shows in America right now? Like, because honestly, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to cross that border. I've said way too much wild shit online that who knows what ICE finds when they fucking check my phones or whatever, check my accounts. Like, I'm not trying to go to America. I'm trying to stay as far away from there as possible. Really, man. You know?
Yeah, it's a good question, man. I mean, there's some cities in America that like New York and Chicago and LA, like
Yeah,
that I think are essential for a hip hop artist to visit, and
yeah.
I probably would. I probably would.
Well, and
I would
hopefully
say
those are still in blue enough states that maybe it's not like that there. I don't know. Yeah.
yeah, hopefully.
Um.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to do like a New York trip
Yeah.
within the next year or two. I think
Ha-
that'd be amazing.
Have you been out there? New York was super cool. I was there. I don't know, a decade ago or something like that. Great.
Like when I was a kid, not when I was like a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You'll see it
that would be.
with different eyes for sure now that you're into hip hop. Um, dude, can I ask you about so something that I've talked to other MCs on this podcast about is that very few indie rappers want to present their image as anything other than that they're a rapper. Most guys' Instagram pages will just show, you know, a bunch of shows they've done, clips of them talking about their music. It's all music centered. Um, you know, your Instagram has like your contracting business. You're out there doing renovations on people's houses and shit like that. And honestly, I give you props there too for not being afraid to, you know, show that there's some dust on your boots or whatever from time to time, like and live in reality because every artist I've known has held down some blue collar job, right? Do you feel like it's like, is it a conscious decision to show people that aspect of your life, or is it just to try to find more jobs for your company?
It's so when I'm talking to girls in my DMs, they see that I have a good job, not I'm just a rapper.
Right. That's good. Yeah,
No,
that's smart. Yeah, you don't
that's
wanna
funny.
just be a rapper.
Yeah, I just put it as like I the way I'm like, if you're gonna click my profile and read my bio, like you're obviously interested enough about me. I definitely don't like like I DJ weddings. I do all these things. Like I don't put them on my feed per se, but I definitely when it comes to like showing my personality, yeah, like I don't think I'm just trying to portray that I'm only a rapper. Like I have a lot of things I like about my life that I do that I'm passionate about, and I feel like it's just an extension of my expression.
Yeah,
And I think especially um I don't know. I'm not the kind of person. I know that it works for some people, but I'm not really the kind of person to be like an enigma where it's like, oh, he's like a big deal. Like I'm definitely I've always thrived more as somebody who's like with the people, not above, right?
yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, my ideal is like you listen to my music, you hear what I say, you see my life, and you're like, it's basically like this guy could be my homie. So
That makes sense. A lot of the guys
yeah.
I talk to, they express to me like, "Oh, thanks for having us on the pod. You know, we hate making content. Having a conversation is a great way to do it." Or, you know,
Mm.
this opens a door to the behind the scenes for listeners and stuff like that. I hear that type of sentiment, but then I hear everybody's raps and everybody wants to hate on like, oh, why don't you go talk on your podcast, you fucking fake MC? And and it's not aimed at me, you know, but I hear these shots just being sprayed randomly at like MCs who are talking on podcasts instead of rapping. Uh, and a lot of the time it's from guys who then a month later are like, "Oh, thanks for having me on your podcast," you know. So, uh, I, I I think that podcasts do open that door and help listeners meet people as people rather than as like some, like you said, enigmatic superstar who like, you know, shows up at the venue and then disappears in a cloud of smoke with three women afterwards and no one knows anything about him. Like that's kind of like what the mainstream industry wants us to think of rappers as. But like the reality is that rappers are just people well, and you mentioned it already, talking about their experience and talking about, representing for their people. That's what KRS-One says an MC is supposed to be, is you're supposed to be
Yeah,
speaking for your people, right? So,
yeah, man.
I to me, like, I think more artists should be much less afraid of some transparency and, like, I don't know, it's still weird to me that people wanna front like they're rich. Like, who's rich? Fucking nobody's rich, but everybody's songs I'm listening to, they're talking about, flying around the world and whatever, and it's like, yeah, I mean, we see you doing tours and stuff, but, like, nobody's really making that much money off of it. It's a good experience and stuff, but, like, I don't
Oh,
know
yeah,
if
of
you need
course.
to make a
That's the
song
thing,
about
that's what I
your
mean, bro.
jets around the world?
It's not worth glamorizing it, like, it's really not, like, you're not making lawyer money, dude, unless you're really, really famous, and then when you're that famous, like, you do whatever you want, but, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we're artists, man, there's a reason we do this, and it should be because you love the art and, like, wanna spread your message. If you're just trying to be if it's for clout or money, like, it's not the best thing to do to get that. There's
Y
better options, in my
yeah,
opinion, so
100%, man. I saw, I mean, I guess he's kinda competition or whatever. This podcaster, Flo Rogan, was talking a month ago about, like, how, once a rapper starts doing a podcast, it's kinda over, and, like, I can appreciate if he's talking about, like, Fat Joe. Nobody's really expecting Fat Joe to drop much more music since he started podcasting, but I think at the grassroots level, this is just a way to allow people.
Oh, he said if you're a rapper and then you start a podcast?
Yeah, and you start a podcast that
What?
it's kinda, like, done for you as far as pushing your
Why?
own music, and I kinda, like, looked at it and was like, "Fuck that, I'm trying to make music myself this year." Like, I got
Yeah,
music coming, bro, but, I've talked to the guy behind the scenes or whatever, and it's, like, friendly. I'm not trying to, like, throw him under the bus here for this opinion, but he made a little video saying that, like, people want their rappers to have that sense of enigma to them, and I kinda just thought, like, I don't think they do at this point. Like, do they? Maybe
mm,
people who want, like, mainstream rappers are kinda looking for that type of stardom, but I think people who support the underground
yeah.
want to know artists, you
It
know?
depends on your actually, there's a good way to put it is, like, it's like your brand is either very much a character, an enigma, a mysterious figure, and that translates to your sound, or your brand is, like, hyper almost dramatization of yourself.
Yeah,
Like, you're either, like, fully vulnerable or you're not at all, and I think that's just different strategies that are based on your music, whereas, like, my music, like, I'm pretty honest, and I'm raw, and, like, I talk about a lot of shit, so it only makes sense that if I'm that inviting with my music that,
you can have
like,
a
I am who I
conversation and
am,
talk about shit
but if I
regular
was,
too, yeah.
like, if I was, like, a masked, like, I don't know, it
Okay.
depends on what you do, right? Or, like, if my brand was very, like, clubby and, like, ladies, but then I was, like, posting, like, things that
Here
didn't
I am on the
sell
work
that
site
much,
or whatever, yeah.
yeah,
E
exactly, man,
even though
so
we
just
know, like you said, women want you to have a good job. So it's not actually contradictory to show yourself on the work site,
yeah, right, yeah.
but,
You
yeah,
know
dude.
what? Like, yeah, like, you just, like, rapper, like, under 10K followers, he's probably broke, he's probably a bum. But it's the thing, like, it's an extension, bro, like, I don't even look at myself like, I've been getting really into video editing, I've been, like, getting into, like, branding, creative direction, cover art, like, I just consider myself more of a creative and, like, I could see myself pivoting into, like, a creative directive role where it's, like, I'm writing storyboards, I'm, like, putting people together, inviting this person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
but my tool, it's like my trade, let's say, is like the emceeing, but
Yeah,
my vision is
that's the element you've mastered the most, but, yeah.
all encompassing. Yeah,
Well, and I think at this point, all artists have to be, dabbling in, like you said, video editing and fucking
yeah, bro.
content creation.
You're when your song is done, your project is not done, right?
Yeah,
Like, the rollout, the branding, the visuals is all tied to what your project is and what it means. Like, you kinda have to accept that, or you have to have people who run that shit for you. So, like, you could be a rapper, but you have somebody else doing the creative direction, somebody else and that's great, but yeah, It's been me forever. Lately, obviously, with the collaboration with like Matt and Paul, I think that's elevated me a lot too, to have other opinions and like other styles in the mix.
Okay.
But I'm interested in that shit too, man. So I feel like,
Talk
yeah,
about that. What did it elevate you to working with these 2 guys? Like, what do you think they brought out of you more so that hasn't been in the past?
um, I think Paul reignited my fun, jammy thing that I loved about hip hop. Like Paul kind of brought that attitude to the project very subtly, but it's just like it just gets you excited on just the process. It gets you excited on the sound, like the rawness. So that took me back. And then Matt, I feel like Matt is somebody who's super methodical and like polished and like takes his time. So it's been, I guess, inviting more of a cohesive plan to things and like setting up rather than just like, let's go on the streets and get some sick clips.
Yeah,
Like it's a lot more intentional. Um, yeah, maybe just more artistic when it comes to the visuals, not giving everything away, kind of like showing. And also one thing that he does really well too is there's always cameras rolling for like behind the scenes content.
smart.
I've always wanted to do that, right? I've always wanted to invite people in the process, in like the banter of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah.
I love that aspect, man. Like, I've always thought, if I could watch entire studio sessions of some of, the legends making those legendary albums or whatever, I would watch that shit for 8 hours straight. Like, if you show me the entire studio session, that sounds
Yeah.
like a great time. I'd hang out, just
Yeah,
fucking smoke and watch people make music. Like,
for real, bro.
yeah.
Do you know the rapper Smino? Do you listen to Smino?
No, not familiar. Uh,
Okay,
dude,
he's
I'm
super
so
dope.
focused on the Canadian stuff every
I
week
appreciate
that
that. Yeah.
like other than like the biggest American movements, like I obviously see what happens in America some of the time, or like I checked out Cole's new album or whatever. But like, nah, man, I've got to like specifically make time out of my week to be like, okay, I really want to listen to this Cole album, so I'm gonna fucking listen to it as I drive to
Mhm.
Calgary or something. Like, but day to day, I'm so tapped in
You listen
listening
to
to Canadian stuff. Um,
sick, dude.
yeah, and it's
I love
amazing
that,
how
bro.
much talent there is across this country, dude. Like, I thought I would miss it because, like, 10 years ago, I didn't listen to any Canadian hip hop, and I thought I would miss being tapped in with the American scene, and I'm kinda not. I especially like you said, watching these guys all stay silent, I'm kinda just like, they let me down,
Mhm.
and watching their country, like, kick off World War III here while everybody
Mhm.
just stays at home, it's like,
Mhm. And it's
uh
disappointing, man. It's like
it's
history repeats.
disappointing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So much for like liberty and democracy and like making a choice. Yeah, I
Well,
agree.
and for standing up for your people and like, just all, like beyond like, oh, I'm a big scary gangster. Like a lot of these guys have talked about like how they're, community driven or how they're here for the community and stuff. And it's like when the time comes down to it, apparently they're cool with just like running away to hide on their piles of money or whatever. Like, which,
Mhm.
yeah, I lose a little bit of respect for some of the legends here watching it, but it is what it is, man. I'm enjoying tapping in with indie artists. I think that this is really kind of the time. Like I'm sure you've seen kind of something paralleling hip hop's timeline to like rock's timeline, where like it got to like glam rock in the '80s, and then in the '90s they had to like knock the polish off of it and do kind of like grunge rock and take it back to a more grassroots place, or punk rock was that prior before it went on that escalation up to glam rock and fucking hair metal and stadium rock and all this, right? Like, and then it came back down to grunge and to a more grassroots level. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing hip hop doing right now, is coming back to the indies. And especially with tech where it's at right now, indies can connect with their fan bases and find people around the world who can support them monetarily. Um, Beyond just like the people in their immediate sphere or the people who come out to their shows or whatever. Like people are really finding bases of support that are, international, and it's a different world for artists. Even with live shows and stuff. Sometimes I see people doing live shows and I think to myself, like, are you just clip farming? Like, does it even matter to be out there doing live shows at this point anymore? Is that helping build a fan base? I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of the time people are performing shows to their 30 friends who, like, otherwise would have been at the bar down the street, but they'll come out to see the show. And I I don't know, man. I think, like, we might be entering an era where people can kinda just, like, put their music online and find a fan base that way. Which, people love live shows, and I hope live music doesn't completely die off, obviously, but, um, it seems like it could, maybe, because people can just go direct to fans digitally at this point. Any thoughts on that?
I think, yeah, probably digitally is the move for building your brand. But at the end of the day, let's say you have that brand built. There's so many artists like new school, like TikTok, Instagram Reels type of artists that I follow that are like posting multiple times a day.
Yeah,
And they post their shit so much that I can genuinely say I either like rarely or haven't actually streamed their music
right.
because I just consume it on socials. Where's the money in that, man?
Yeah,
So for them to have this branding, which is great, they have to monetize it somehow, and live shows is, I think, the main way to monetize it. So yeah, you have to do live shows. As for being discovered by live performances, I think that festivals and maybe
right.
like big opening gigs can be good for that. But at the same time, there's so much pay to play that I feel like people go in expecting the opener to be shit.
Okay,
But
yeah,
I do believe that if you kill it, if you really kill it, I think that's a good way to get exposure. Now, from my perspective on live shows in general, I think the ones that do it really well are people who curate experiences, have good branding, good visuals, posters, and like curate an evening, a full evening that's interactive, that makes you feel like you're part of something and that there's thought to it.
yeah,
When you are doing this old school thing of like, I'm going to pack the house with openers and they're each going to bring 10 of their friends and then there's a headliner, like people see through it at this point and it makes you feel like going out as a chore and you can good luck keeping the same crowd there the whole night.
yeah,
I think that system has to go. I think you gotta invest in, like, picking the right artists, picking the right headliner, but not relying so much on those people to just bring people out, like, you will bring people out because your event is dope.
yeah.
Why, like,
Dude,
at
one of the
least I've been to events where it's just locals and it's sold the fuck out because it's a cool event, and they have
100%.
interesting aspect to it, right? Makes you wanna be there,
I was
so
just gonna say, man, one of the favorite shows I did, I was dropping an album, the Liberators were dropping an album, and Kaz was dropping an
mm,
album at the same time. And we were like, yo, let's just fucking rotate through so that, like, everybody's crowd has to stay in the building. So we did like 3 tracks apiece and then switched out. Like, and 3 tracks by them, 3 tracks by me, 3 tracks by Kaz, and then repeat the cycle. And we just like kind of all performed all night. Um and I
mm,
I I think a format like that is kinda like what you're talking about, like, build something that actually keeps people in the venue and isn't just like a bunch of randos opening who then, like, their fans leave after they've seen their buddy perform or whatever, right? Like, we've all seen that happen. The opener has his 20 people there, and then they all fucking take off before
yeah,
whoever
man,
the headliner is.
because that's not you're not selling people to come out for something that they wanna be there for, you're selling them on, like, "Come support me," and
Yeah,
then, like, "Yeah, oh, it's only gonna be an hour, then you can go do whatever you want." Like, no, like, you need to really, as a promoter, sell to the people why this event is worth coming to, and then, like, the art is the art, like,
yeah.
easier said than done, but I don't think it's that hard if the promoter has the right mindset. And
Well,
promoters need to be people who are good with branding, who are good with networking, who are popular, who are good curators as well. They know like who to put where and how everything should flow,
yeah.
so you don't have some random breaks. If you're just a promoter who's like, "Yeah, I can put 4 and make 6 and boom," like, that's not Short-lived success if you even get the success, right?
100%, man. I saw, the internet is full of people with tips for what indie artists should or shouldn't be doing, but I saw somebody kind of brainstorming, and I think they were a promoter, but they were talking about like how with venues dying off and, like Live Nation owns all the venues or whatever, and it's tougher and tougher for indie artists to get in to actually book a decent venue to perform at even. They were saying that indie artists need to go direct to fans and get guerrilla with it. Like just start, doing fucking at home listening events or whatever, like to promote your album that way. And I saw that
Or like a
in the
or
days
like an
leading up to this and wanted to ask
invite
you.
only.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing, bro. That's what we're doing for this EP release. It's invite only through the DMs, and it's like,
Well, and you did like an at home one for your last project too, didn't you?
yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's
Yeah, that
smart,
was
man.
again, it's a personal invitation, and it's like not everyone can come. What does that makes you feel like, okay, like this is even the crowd of people is curated in a way that it's like you are a part of this experience. You aren't just here to see me do my thing. Like we want you specifically because we're creating an ecosystem around the music,
Yeah,
and like everybody will be on the same wave, or like that shit's very important, man. I think that's how you build something real. And that's where I think Icon did super well, right? Like they they didn't book headliners for a long time, man. They
yeah,
just did something unique, and they put a fuckload of sweat equity and free work. Like imagine doing like a 3-hour cipher every week and like filming it on 3, 4 angles and editing it all and posting it the next week.
yeah.
Like that's a lot of work
So much
for
video editing
one
and behind the scenes
one
shit.
crazy guy.
Yeah. Oh, it's all
So,
one
but
it's one dude? He doesn't have a team of people with.
no, he does.
Oh,
It's just a joke.
holy
But
shit.
I've just stayed at Ghetto's place, and I know how he works. Like
Oh,
he's a man. You
okay.
have to be, bro. You have to love this shit so much that nothing. It doesn't make sense logically of how you could do this.
Yeah.
You know,
Dude, I
you just
feel
love
that
it.
so much. There's no fucking, like, golden pot of gold at the end of this rainbow for me. I'm just fucking doing this every week because this is, like I enjoy talking to different artists, and I genuinely think that artists at your level, at a grassroots level, should have somebody who asks them, like, "Hey, talk about your album a little bit." Like, I feel like
Yeah,
that question in itself is something that most artists kinda never get asked, like, unless
yeah.
it's your closest homies or whatever, who are, like, working on the project with you, nobody's just gonna ask, like, "So what were you trying to accomplish on this album?" Like,
Mm.
we need that. I think it's a question artists enjoy answering, but fucking nobody wants to ask it to them because CBC can't be bothered to, and I don't know, other people look at this entire space and just think like, "Well, there's no money in it, so why would I do that?" I wouldn't be on episode 134 if I was worried about trying to make money off this shit. I would've got 6
I
in
hear
and
you,
been like,
bro.
"Alright, I'm done," like everybody else with podcasts, but no, this is really just like, let's chronicle this shit. Let's, get people's opinions out there to the world, and kind of broadcast some of the conversations artists are having behind the scenes about, like, best practice of how the fuck to actually survive in this industry out here as it is changing
Right,
so quick, right? So, yeah, man.
right,
Appreciate you and all the other artists coming on here to brainstorm and share ideas and talk about your projects and shit. It it should be being done. Our Canadian industry is dope. There's so much good music. Like, it genuinely amazes me how good every ATSIC mix I can make every fucking week out of
mm,
new music is. Like, you can throw on any one of those ATSIC mixes and you're gonna find a few tracks that you dig for sure,
definitely.
you know?
Yeah, you've put me on some artists too, man.
Yeah,
Some
dude,
really fun artists.
that's the best thing I can hear. That's what that's what this is all about. Um, so I don't know if we did this last time. I might not have been doing how important questions last time I talked to you, but I always do a segment though where I ask people how important is this or that, and it's just kind of rapid fire conversation starter stuff. Um,
Sure.
we already touched on some of these. Let's do how important is staying physically fit for an artist? Does that matter?
Is it a yeah, oh yeah. I don't know, am I doing like a scale or just in general? I would say it's very important.
You can answer them any way you like. Yeah, very important, or 1 to 10, or whatever you want to do.
I don't know, maybe 7.
Yeah,
It's not the most, but I think it's super important to stay physically fit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just for breath control on stage and stuff like that?
Yeah, it
Or for an image? Is it so that people will see your image and be like, "Oh, this is someone who looks serious."
it's important to me
Yeah.
is on a personal level, and I feel like, yeah, man, like, you're an MC, your image look at 50 Cent, bro, like, his six-pack and jack, like, that fucking it sells, like,
Yeah.
it hits. 50 Cent's success has in part his six-pack, dude, no doubt.
Yeah.
But,
Those
no, you
6
have to
bullets
feel
played a
good,
part,
bro.
but the six-pack played
But
a part too.
in reality, I think it's good for longevity. I think if you're physically fit, you feel good mentally, you're on a routine,
Yeah.
you can, like just being physically active forces, like, some level of discipline, and that discipline can translate to, like, healthy practices to keep things going. Music is also, like, kind of a deprecating thing sometimes, and you can get really in your head, and, like, I think having that just there, like, maintaining your
Just
health.
knowing that at least you look good physically, like, yeah.
Just and feel good and, like, you're
Yeah.
doing the right things, yeah, yeah, I think it's very important.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. Uh, this is kinda interesting asking you as someone who's worked with a band as well as, done a lot of shows, just MC, DJ style probably. How important is rehearsal and rehearsing on a regular basis?
I don't rehearse at all, man. Unless
This
unless
is
it's
why
with
I
it
asked this, 'cause there's some guys who are like, "Oh, yeah, I gotta do it every week," and then there's guys who are like, "Yeah, I rap in the shower sometimes, that's good enough," or whatever.
with the band, you have to, of course, but, yeah, when it's just me, I I record all my own shit, I comp it, I, like, I spend a lot of time with the song, I listen to it over and over, tweak it, so I know the song, so for me, it's way less about rehearsing and way more about ensuring that I feel good. Like, I'm a freestyler at heart, like, my whole thing is, like, if you put me in a good enough mood at the right setting, a little bit of weed, etcetera, good crowd, like, I can spit off the dome, like, 70% quality of my riddance,
Yeah.
right? So, like,
I like that
that
you have
same
the percentage of how close they are to your writtens, that's
well,
good.
yeah, well, because a lot of my writtens are if I was to show you the original freestyle that then became the song, it's pretty much the same,
Right.
just I just, like, made the lyrics make more sense. But, yeah, for me, it's like being in a good mood, man. Like, doing the right things that day, getting a good workout in, having a good meal, having a good sleep, like, being with the homies, so when you pull up to the stage, you're in that element that you were when you were in the studio making the song, when you're jamming with your homies. That is so much more important to me than, like, meticulously rehearsing, as long as you know your lyrics.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Um, even with the band, you must have
No,
been
you gotta
doing some
rehearse with the band.
rehearsals with
You
the
have to
band, yeah.
rehearse fucking
Yeah,
yeah, oh,
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
dude. Yeah, it's
okay,
different story. That's dynamics, that's switches, cuts, yeah.
for sure, yeah,
Big.
okay. How about, how important is having in-person studio sessions with the producer or people you're collaborating with?
Medium.
Yeah,
I think, it's not necessary. Um, but it's definitely nice for, let's say, something cohesive like a project. But you can do a lot virtually, and I think that ends up being more about like, for example, Mick Jenkins and Kaytranada. Whenever they make a song, man, like any of my favorite Mick Jenkins songs were Kaytra beats, and they've never met, is what I heard.
that's wild.
He just sends him beats, Mick sends him something, they go one or two emails, and it's done. So
Yeah,
I think people who click just click.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, have told me that, "Oh, you need to be in person, the vibes are so good," or whatever. Again, all these are polarizing
Hmm.
questions. Some people answer both sides. But, yeah, man, I think, like, now with the modern era where everybody kinda has their own home setup, like, there's something about the creative freedom of being able to spend as much time as you want and being able to walk off and smoke a joint whenever you want or, being absolutely in complete creative control while you create and
Hmm.
not having to worry about, a time restraint or
It's
whatever.
definitely ideal, but it's like I wouldn't you don't need to, like, take a flight to
Yeah,
do this if it's not in your wheelhouse, but, like, yeah, me, Matt, and Paul, like, we were doing a lot of stuff in person, and it's great, but, yeah, it's not net I wouldn't say it's essential, yeah.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. How about, how important is competition in hip hop?
Mm,
tradition
These
says one
days,
thing, but other people tell
these
me
days,
different.
I would say lower medium importance.
Yeah,
Yeah, because competition uh is good for making everybody on point and pushing the best in everybody, but I certainly don't buy that like one person's success is competing with yours. It's actually quite the opposite.
yeah,
If somebody is sick from another city moved to your city and they're now one of the best rappers in the city, that is a positive for you. That means you're gonna either work with them and get some of that shine, you're gonna make better art, your city's gonna get more recognized, or it now you gotta work to that level, right?
yeah.
So I think like anybody popping off in your network is beneficial to you way more than it is like taking your place. Like that's a stupid mentality,
I agree,
especially
man.
with the internet.
Yeah.
Maybe back then it was different. There's only so many spots, right?
Yeah, well, and
But
before
no,
the
no.
internet, it was like, there were only so many people that people were exposed to, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Like this is you are better than me, so now like this DJ is gonna play your record over me, and
yeah,
I won't get my yeah. It's not like that anymore. It's like
100%. Yeah,
if there's a bunch of shit popping off in your city, now people are looking at your city.
right.
Yeah.
Um, d what do you think of Edmonton's scene? Does Edmonton have something, that could support, like, what Icon's been doing in Vancouver? I feel like there's a lot of good MCs in Edmonton.
Um, in hip hop or is a music scene in general?
I'd let's say in hip hop, I guess.
Um,
You're not feeling?
I think I think there would be a lot of renovations to be done in the structures of that
Yeah.
for it to be the case. Edmonton's pretty. There's a lot of talent in Edmonton, but it's pretty fragmented.
I
Yeah,
feel like a
there's
lot of the
not
talent
as
stays home. Like, I see
yeah, dude,
clips from
and they
events or whatever up there, and I'm
and you'll
always
never
just like,
know. And
"These are
like the
not the guys who should be rapping for our." You were one of the guys who popped up and rapped for RA the Rugged Man at, one of those Dis or Daps events or whatever, but trying to watch that episode of that, I was like, "Who are these fucking guys, and why are they being presented as, like, Edmonton's
yeah, I
MCs
know,
for most of it?"
bro.
'Cause,
I fucking killed that show though. That RA show,
yeah, man.
I killed that shit. That was like really felt like I was like hometown show. Yeah, man. I think it's there's there's no central body that everybody wants to be part of.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of talented artists that are just hitting the internet almost like they're just like remote workers. Like you would never know they're from Edmonton.
Yeah. Yeah,
And they're doing
100%.
great, bro. There's a lot of like hidden talent, but yeah, there's no like centralized scene that everyone wants to be a part of. That's
Yeah.
for sure. There's a bunch of micro scenes and people moving out and people like making a trip to LA once in a while and but then their social shows like they live in LA, like stuff like that. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Definitely stuff like that.
Yeah. Those are my favorites. Those guys don't get played on Attic. If I can't tell where you're from, like I like it when somebody tells me where they live in their bio. If I have to try to piece it together and most of the things on their Instagram look like they were in LA when they shot them and they don't have it in their bio where they're from, a lot of the times I just shrug and go, well, they must not be Canadian and fucking don't hit follow
Mm,
or whatever. Right? So yeah,
well,
it might be
yeah.
detrimental to other people, opinion when they see, "Oh, he's a Canadian rapper," but no, for me, I boycott anybody who doesn't proudly state that they're up
Yeah.
here. Um, how about, how important is keeping up with the news for an artist?
Uh pretty important, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah, MC, you should know what's going on in the world. Like from the perspective of punchlines, message. Yeah, big time.
yeah, yeah, I agree with you 100%, but, again, that, is gonna depend on whether an artist talks about political stuff in their music or not. Some
Even
people
even
are
if they don't, like if you want to make a funny bar, like you gotta be on point with
yeah,
shit that's happening.
current
Yeah,
event
it can't
stuff.
be.
Yeah, even if it's
Yeah.
not important current event stuff. Make a
Hmm.
joke about the funny thing that happened.
Hmm.
Um, how about, how important is, well, no, we kinda talked about that. Let's go with, how important is Having or finding the right romantic partner? My wife asked me to ask you this one.
As an artist,
Yeah.
um, I would say pretty important, but not essential.
Okay.
Depends what you do. I was watching, Rock Marciano, like,
Yeah.
yeah, he he's so old, man, but he's like still got that like young man's mindset. But I saw an interview and he's just like, yeah, man, he's like, I'm old now. I don't go to the club anymore. What I do is I pull up towards the end of the night and I scoop a shorty, let someone else do the work. And I'm like, damn, this guy's like such a player at like 50 years old, probably.
Like the Denzel clip
Um,
where he's like, "I'm leaving with something." Yeah,
yeah, yeah, like he's just fucking dogging it up, man. But he's does his thing. So I feel like it's not, but I think it can definitely shape your direction of sound. Let's put it like this. I don't think you need to have a partner, but if you have a partner, they will very, very much influence your sound and your like where you're going with music. Like some relationships can make you not do music because all your emotions are towards this dynamic. Some will really strengthen it. Some won't work out and then you write like an album about it, you know? There's it's it's an important aspect for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Some people write the best stuff when they're, happy in a relationship, and other guys write the best stuff when they're miserable coming out of a relationship or
100%, bro.
partying it up, living
But
the
I
single
can't
life.
I I will say, like, you have a good woman with you, it's a lot of it really does benefit you as an artist, like, bouncing ideas with them, getting that reassurance, having that safe space to go to where it's like,
Yeah,
you know, after the show, after the adrenaline, I'm like, "Okay, my social battery's kinda depleted," and I can just, like, yeah, man. It's nice to have like especially when you're so ambitious and so driven into something like that. It's nice to have someone to balance that off big time.
100%. Um, let's do one more of these, man. How important is winning industry awards? I'll
Mm.
tell you, I judged the
Uh,
Junos this year. I saw the all the submissions for singles and albums, best rap album, best rap single. I got to choose my 10 favorites for both, and I didn't get to choose who actually won. I just helped develop the who was going to be nominated. Um, and I can tell you that like none of that music's any better than yours, bro. Those people, are definitely in the same weight class as you. I think a lot of
did they
artists
just
like
apply
don't
it? Did it
don't
just
submit. Yeah, it costs a
That's
hundred
what it
bucks to
is.
submit for the Junos. Yeah,
Okay. I don't know. Does it make a big difference?
I think if you win the Juno, that kind of makes a career. Maybe helps make a career, but I don't know about anybody who is like
I think it depends on your sound. If you're going for if you're someone like Shad or like someone who's very much like an accessible Canadian hip hop artist that could be booked for like a U of A gig or like Taste of Edmonton. I
Would you
think it's
not
super
consider?
important if you're
Would you consider yourself in that category? I would put you firmly in that category
of what?
of like Shad, where you could be booked at the U of A or
Accessible.
whatever, accessible, like, and
I don't know.
someone who
I
makes
don't think
music that's both like liked by hip hop heads
I
as well
appreciate
as
that you
like
say that.
that's
I guess
something
yeah,
that like
my
critics can look at and be like, well, this has substance to it. This is artistic. This,
mm,
like you're not just making bullshit.
then you're in that lane that I told you that I used to be in where you're the ambassador for hip hop to a non-hip hop crowd. So
Okay,
for
right.
me, for me personally right now, it's not that important because I want to be thriving in the underground and I'm very much like hip hop in that like fuck the system and
Yeah,
fuck you type of mentality that I
right.
really just don't think aligns with that right now. But
Gotcha.
maybe in future projects and because every project I shift my identity a little bit to match it. Um, I think so. Like I had that little phase where I was making really beautiful like guitar type rap and like then yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe for the next project I would consider all those things that you said. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was all sorts of different stuff there too. Like it wasn't all friendly, easy listening hip hop that was in there. That's for
Mm.
sure. There was some stuff with an edge to it
Are
still.
you saying I should submit next time?
I am saying that you should submit. I'm not an official ambassador
Okay.
for these awards or anything,
Okay.
but
I will. I will.
I've just
I'll
been
do that.
telling everyone I know this. I made a post about it on IG that like people aren't submitting because they think that it's like this highfalutin like upper crust
Mhm.
thing, but it's not, man. I mean, like maybe it is at the actual deciding who won level. Uh, I was talking to other people from the rap advisory board and they kind of agree with my post that I made the day after about like how Sad Boy wasn't really rapping enough to have won the best rap album. Um, and she won
Mhm.
it anyways, and all the power to Sad Boy. Her new single, she's rapping on it, but on that album she won for, I listened through it and like there's like 3 rap verses in it. And to me, you can't put that above these other 50 albums where guys are rapping and say,
What was the category considered? Hip hop slash rap?
"No, it was best rap album." That's the word, right?
No.
So, like, if you're gonna give away something as best rap album, like, you
Damn.
can't give it to somebody who's not rapping, right?
No,
And
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
yeah, so
Sometimes they'll say like hip hop, R&B, whatever, but if it was rap album, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, interesting.
but the
Hmm.
board that advises the Junos, like, Arlo Maverick and DJ Cosm and Imperative, these are the guys. I was talking to Imperative about this, and like he told me that everybody on that board agreed with me that that wasn't right. That fucking album won for best rap
So who
album.
decides then? Like
So apparently,
a level above those guys?
yeah, the Junos are run by a group called the CARAS, CARAS, and it stands for like Canadian Art, I don't know, something or another, some
Mm-hmm.
board. So anybody who wants to can pay to be a member, and members of the CARAS were who voted to decide who actually won. So
So they could potentially be not really in the hip hop at all.
exactly, yeah, a lot of
Yeah, okay.
those people. My guess would be, some of those people looked at it and were just like, "Well, she's a female. I'm voting for the female." and
Yeah,
y-
probably.
you know,
So was that like was Arden's work on there?
Arden was one of my picks
Yeah,
that should have been up
I
for
thought
album of the year. I don't think he made it to the 5 noms. Uh,
oh wow.
Maybe he did. I'd have to look up who actually was nominated again, but, yeah, he had a great album. He's kinda one of those guys, though, like you were saying, that, like, people don't even know he's from Edmonton, right? Like, he just is straight
Mhm.
to the internet, does he do shows in Edmonton? Have you ever seen him do a show?
He's done shows in Edmonton, yeah, but it's usually
Okay.
as part of a tour.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's guys who are finding success like him, out there
Oh
doing
yeah.
the thing, but yeah, I think a lot of guys don't apply for those kind of awards because, they think it's gonna go one way or the other, and maybe it will, but, I will say that I was vocal about it this year, and maybe I'll end up getting blackballed from being a judge next year as a result of it, but, I definitely heard people on their advisory rap board tell me that they agree with my opinion and that they were going to take those complaints to the higher ups and say like, why are we even bothering choosing judges who know hip hop if they don't actually get to choose the winner in the end? Like, which I would agree with completely. So yeah, that's my opinion of the awards. But it would be nice if people who make, you know, genuine hip hop heads like could win the rap award, but I don't see why not. Yeah. Anyways, what else did I want to ask you? I think we pretty much. Oh, here, let's do one tip. Sometimes I ask guys for a tip. Uh, let's since you've worked with a band, let's give a tip to an MC who wants to work with a band. What would you tell an MC who is looking to you know develop their sound live with a band?
I would say maybe make sure you're picking people who are bought in on your vision and feel that it's collaborative
Yeah,
and make sure everybody's on the same page about that
yeah,
would be the main thing.
that's
If you're just doing it for a show and you have some budget, you can hire like the best session players, pay them, get them to remember your stuff, play that show, which is probably something I would do. But yeah, if you're trying to make it a thing, it's definitely they've got to be in on the vision with you, and then as a result, you have to also put them on as part of your you know like your whole
Promotional push.
ecosystem of your music. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
say.
That makes sense, man. Yeah, good answer.
And communicate your vision very clearly too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The more, cooks you get in the kitchen, I think the tougher it gets trying to do a group album, whether it was 7 rappers or 1 rapper and 6 people that
Did
play
you ever
instruments
did
would
you
be
ever
tough.
see me play with the band? Did you ever see our show?
Yeah, I caught you guys at, North Country Fair. Uh, that one, I was lit out of my mind.
The late one or the early one?
The late one that was, like, on a side stage, I think.
Nice.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was that was fun.
yeah, it was dope, man. And then I think you sent me the footage from it too. I asked you to send me the
Yeah,
footage from it, so I've got to watch the footage since then, actually. But yeah, dude, thanks for talking. This has
of
been good.
course.
Um, always here to play the music. Keep sending stuff over.
Yeah, you
Uh,
like those 2 tracks. Hey, I know they were just rough version, but they're fucking
shit,
you think they
they
were,
sound fine to me, man. I'm not like I can mix, I can engineer to a degree because I've been doing it for 25 years, but I'm not like the professionally trained guy who's like, oh no, your 350 hertz sounds a little bit muddy after I listen
mm.
to a mix or whatever. Like some guys are super audiophiles like that. For me, like I don't know, those mixes sounded good to me. Fucking drop
You
that
like
shit,
the
man.
songs, though? You like the direction?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think that's exactly the way that I wanna see you going with music if I have any say in it. I think keep doing what you're doing, man. You're on the right path
Totally,
with it.
bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks so much, man.
Yeah. I really appreciate your music, man. Like I put it in the description for this interview that you're one of my favorite MCs across this country right now because you're actually technically dope. Like this is the thing is there's a disconnect for a lot of rappers where they just think that all a rapper needs to do is be able to do really intricate word plays and be able to rhyme on beat and like so they get really technically good at it, but then they don't have anything to say. And they end up doing just like, Eminem Rap God, except not at Eminem's level, right? So
Mhm.
it doesn't hit the same way because it's just like, all right, like, there's some fun bars in there, but like ultimately I don't walk away feeling any impact from a lot of that music. Where the, you know, emphasis is on how technically good of a rapper they are. Whereas I think you and the magic happens when somebody is technically good and also artistic, you know, genuinely has something to express that they feel like they need to get off their chest to the world beyond just like the cliches that we've heard. A lot of I sit and listen to music on Twitch every Friday, man. I listen to 6, 7, 8 hours worth of new drops every Friday on Twitch. And sometimes I'm laughing and just being like, no, this is cliche bingo. Like you could sit here with, the bingo board of like, I fucked your bitch. Check. Like just different brags that like we've been hearing this same shit for 35 fucking years at this point. Like and people still think that like that's all they need to do to be a rapper. And it's like, I'm here for people who actually have something to say and can do it technically well. And I think that's you, man. That's you and other people I play on AtSick as well. But you definitely fall in that category.
Appreciate that a lot, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Big ups.
Yeah, definitely not trying to be a preacher and definitely not trying to be like a rippity rapper. Like, I
No,
wanna
you
make
just
music. I
pepper
wanna
in
make
some stuff, right? Like we
yeah,
don't need to be hit over the head with, we don't need an entire album of like save the people, free the people music, but it should be someplace in there, like
it's
it's sad
yeah,
when I can listen to
it's
rappers for 10 years and not know where they stand on anything. Like you, I've
for sure,
listened to
man.
your music for 10 years and I feel like I know, you know, where you stand on most issues. Like if, I'd at least have a guess at where you stand on most issues. Whereas like some guys that doesn't really apply. Like I've been playing their music for almost 10 years and, you know, they surprise me when I talk to them and they say like, "Oh, I don't really think that," or whatever, and it's like, "Oh, I guess
Mm,
I don't have any idea who you are from your music then," like, but yeah,
mm.
Yeah. Dude, before I let you go though, can I get a quick soundbite? I ask everybody for this. Can you describe your local hip hop scene? You kind of already did earlier, but we'll just boil it down a little bit.
Untapped potential
Untapped potential. Yeah, I like that.
and untapped potential and a deep lore and culture.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, I like that description, man. Edmonton
Like
has a lot of
Edmonton's
history.
culture, bro. It's an old city in a way when it comes to arts,
Yeah.
and you notice it. Like, not to hate too much on Calgary. Calgary's a great, nice metropolitan area. It's geographically better. They have all these things, but there's a distinct difference of the culture of Edmonton.
Yeah. I
It
miss the
is
culture of
defined.
Edmonton since moving
It's
away
old.
from it,
It's
man.
been there for a while. It's been developed. Whereas, like, Calgary feels like a new city, even and culturally,
Yeah.
and it kind of is a new city, right? But
Calgary
it's
went
like,
real
man, if
hard
you
with the
take
cowboy
just
identity for a long
swap
time.
swap the culture, but give me that land.
Yeah. For that matter, just keep bringing the culture south, man. We could use
Yeah,
another
I'll do my best. Okay.
900,000 people in Lethbridge, make this the hub of Alberta. That'll be okay.
No,
Yeah.
but all right, can you hear me? I just lost.
We hear you, but it's like echoey or something. You might be on a different mic.
Yo, yo,
There.
yo.
No, well, that's weird, man. Yeah, you must have a short in the USB or something.
Okay, I reached to be back.
Yeah, sounds good, I think.
Okay. No, I played in Calgary like a month or two ago, Ship Hop, and that was a fucking awesome event.
Yeah,
So shout out those guys.
shouts to them. Yeah, that seems like a good event. They're pushing the culture forward for sure. Um, how about any other artists you want to give shouts to? People who might not be getting enough shine that probably deserve a little bit more attention. No, fuck them all. I think I might have lost your audio again, though. Did we lose your audio? Yeah, I can't hear you. We lost the audio. But no shout outs for anybody. No, still not. Still muted out. Oh,
Damn.
oh,
Okay,
no,
now I
now I
gotta
hear
be
you.
in.
Yeah, now I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least this is happening at towards the end.
yeah.
Um. Ooh. Uh.
Self. Self the bluest eye.
Self is a fucking legend, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Self is a legend in the streets, man.
yep.
Everyone knows Self, who's like been in hip hop for a while. Um. But like, if we're talking up and comers, I think CX to the world is a pretty dope rapper who could get some more shine.
He's very dope. Yeah, I
Um.
agree. I've tried to book him. He has no showed interviews 2 times on this show, but I still appreciate that guy's music.
I wouldn't take it personally, bro. It's tough, man. It's tough being
No, I don't take it personally, honestly. I don't
he's
offer
an
money for
artist.
this thing, so
He's an artist, but like this, there's a difference between making the art and no, like it's yeah.
no, I always
I
get it, man.
honestly,
Like free art shit like this, you got to back burner it for life stuff. If
right.
life gets messy, you just don't do the podcast. That's fine.
But I honestly, I gotta say, me, Matt, and Paul, bro. Like, I think I'm ready for my shine. Honestly, I have to say it. I'm not trying to be that
Let's
guy,
go. Yeah,
but I feel like I've been killing it for a while. I feel like I I crossed a lot of boxes. I grind, and I'm going to give it my best shot this year. And like, I think the music will speak for itself too. So
yeah. Nice, man. Well, it's been fun talking with you. Where can people find you online? And is there a set date for this upcoming album, or just watch the socials for when it comes out?
the first single drops on Friday. We're planning to release the next single a couple weeks after that, and then a couple weeks after that, the project. So we're already in the rollout right now.
Okay. Oh, wait, there's one more question I got to ask you before I let you go. I ask everybody this too. Can you name a Canadian who you haven't worked with, who you'd like to collab with? This is the breathe it into
I
existence
can
part of the show.
I could name a bunch, man.
Sure.
Can I name a bunch?
Yeah.
I would love to work with Tona, Stacey, Future Wave, Daniel Sun,
Yeah.
some of the Icon Cats, the Icon Killers. I think I'd love to jump on something with them. Uh, I think I don't know. I've been getting into this alternative lane, so like 80 Perp, Arden, I would work with. There's a lot of videographers in the city I would love to work with. Um, I would love to work with like some of the electronic music producers or some of like the more old school producers as well. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
so many. I want to release this stuff because I've been sitting on it for a while, and then I'm like really fully intending on just like doing a lot of collaboration stuff.
Is the house influenced album you mentioned, is that gonna be ready for the summer so you can get out and do festival
That's
shows?
that's that's my plan, and
Yeah.
it's not really house influence. It's just one. The main single is like kind of got a housey vibe to it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a really sick video for that, and I think that song is special. But yeah, that's definitely aiming for like a late summer release. It's got summer vibes to it, big time, and
Dope.
yeah, man,
Yeah, nice.
yeah.
Looking forward to hearing it
For the
all, man.
ladies, that one. For the ladies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. Somebody's gotta make the music for the ladies, definitely. Alright, man.
All right,
Uh,
bro.
been good talking with you. Have yourself a good
Yeah,
day.
you too, man.
Peace.
Thank you so much, bro. Peace.
Of course. But yeah, that was a good talk with Tariiq. Good to catch up with him. Definitely somebody whose music I don't think anybody should be sleeping on. Next week, I'm talking to Seraphin, Calgary based. You know, I want to say he's almost like a counterpart to Tariiq. He's like Calgary's version of Tariiq, except, well, maybe not. Maybe it's a bit of a stretch to make that comparison, but they're both dope artists from Edmonton and Calgary. Let's put it that way. Next week, I talked to Seraphin. Last time I talked to him, he was floating down river in Calgary and couldn't do the video end of the interview, but we did an audio only. It was the only audio only interview that's ever been done on Flying Formation. April 21st, I talked with Winnipeg based MC Len Bowen. April 28th, I talked with Ezza of Choom Gang out of Niagara Falls. Good to catch back up with him. We've been chatting in the DMs recently, and you know, we both have some things to say politically. I wondered how far down the political rant path we would go here talking today with Tariiq, but honestly, I'm a little bit relieved that we didn't. I like I said, feel like this is a heavy day, and we're all just holding our breath, hoping for the best here, and you know, we don't need my ranting speculation about it necessarily. May 5th, I talked with Tone Chop and Frost Gamble. May 12th, I talked with OP Yeti. May 19th, I talked with Half Cut and Cole the God. May 26th, I talked with Cold Camp. Back-to-back Calgary interviews. Lots of Calgary coming up. June 2nd, I'm talking with Deuce Fantastic. This is the first time I've announced the June dates. June 2nd, Deuce Fantastic, Edmonton-based MC. June 9th, Ghost Boy RJ, Toronto-based MC, who's been making a lot of motion out there in the underground scene, which we were discussing is popping off in Toronto. June 16th, I'm talking with Meyer Clarity and Fresh Kills. Both of those guys are, friends of the show. I've talked to them both several times. Looking forward to that one. They have a collabo album that's dropping very soon. I think the first 2 singles are out for it now. Very dope music coming out of that camp. Looking forward to chopping up with them. June 16th. June 23rd, I am talking once again with Def 3. He is right now out on tour. I know he played Edmonton like a week ago, something like that. But I will be catching up with him. He's a Victoria-based MC and graffiti artist who's very dope and is merging boom bap lyricism with EDM right now. So looking forward to hearing about his experiences since I last talked to him, and how the crowds are liking the music. And then June 30th, last interview before I go on summer break for 2 months over July and August. June 30th, I talked to K Blitz, another who I've spoken to before, and we had a great chat last time. Looking forward to all of these interviews coming up. It's this only gets easier as I get to know people better and better, and the conversations just go that much smoother. So yeah, keep tapping back in. Tuesdays, twitch.tv/Doobyis. Doobyis.com also has the live feed. Anytime I go live, you can see it there at Doobyis.com. After the smoke is clear is the Mix Show, and new episodes every Thursday. Mixcloud.com/Doobyis is where you can find the archives, and I only play Canadian hip hop over there. Never play stuff twice. It's always new release. And I do my best just to highlight as much talent across this country as I can every week. Appreciate people for rocking with me, and I will catch you next time.